Hi, welcome back to my channel. So I am back with more family meal ideas for you. As usual, I'm going to share with you what my family of 7 have had for dinner, and I'm trying to stick to quite a tight budget around here as well. A few of the dishes you will find are great ones if you want to do a bit of batch cooking or bulk cooking. Freeze them ahead, that way you're going to save on time and money as well. But as always, let's get cracking and we'll see what we had. So for my first meal, I've got a large batch of braised steak. We're actually going to make 2 times the filling, 1 for the freezer. Carrots, beef stock, I've got a large white onion, bottle of Guinness, mushrooms, celery and some flour. This is a cross between my beef stew recipe and my steak and Guinness pie, which I'll link down below. So I'm just mixing through. We've got that meat, the onions and the celery. I've coated the meat in flour with seasoning and herbs. And then I've just added in my carrots and my mushrooms, which I've chopped quite chunky. And we just want to make sure that nothing's stuck to the bottom of the pan. I'm adding in my beef stock at this stage. We may add a little bit more in later. And then to give it just a much deeper flavour, I'm going to go in with some stout. So I'm using Guinness. You can go for whatever beer you prefer. If I wasn't feeding the children, I would probably use 2 bottles, to be honest, because you can give it a much richer flavour. But we're going to cook off all that alcohol. So until that froth has disappeared and you see that deepened gravy, we will then add our lid, keep it on a low heat and cook for another 2 hours until the meat is really lovely and tender. I want to thicken the gravy slightly, so I'm adding a little bit more corn flour paste. And then I've popped it into my pie dish. Like I said, this is actually half, the other half will be going into the freezer. And I'm not layering the pastry on the bottom, just the top to keep it a little bit lighter for the children. Lula's helping me there with the egg wash, so she's just coating the top there. That is going to give us that golden crispy top of the pie. And this will go in the oven for about 30 minutes. When it comes out, it looks like so. I always say don't trust a pretty pie, so I think we're pretty safe here with this one. We're keeping the sides very simple: cauliflower, broccoli, some new potatoes, and I've done some carrots and parsnips mashed up and a little bit of seasoning. I find they eat a lot more when it's mashed up like that. And it's just one for the table. Everyone can have a nice slice. I tend to just do the layer of pastry on the top because my kids love pastry and they would eat all the pastry and not enough filling or the sides. But this is really cost effective if you use the braised steak. You can swap it out for actual steak, but I find if you cook it on a really low heat for a length of time, you will get just as good results. The next evening, it's just myself and Alistair. The kids ate at the grandparents', which was handy. So we're going to take the opportunity to have something that we like that they don't necessarily like. So we're using up some steaks. I'm adding a lot of balsamic vinegar to the pan. And we prefer steak medium to well done. If you prefer yours more rare, you're going to have the lovely juices that you can use with your salad, but we're creating a bit more of a vinaigrette. So I've got some of a vinaigrette left over from lunch, peppers, radishes, cucumber, cherry tomatoes and some rockets, and just very simple. We've let the meat rest, added it to the salad, added some parmesan shavings, beetroot and some pomegranate seeds. I'm absolutely obsessed with them in it. I just add them to puddings, to everything. I think they're a superfood, but I just love them to pep up dishes. Next evening, I'm prepping this because I won't have time for dinner the next day, and it's a great one to do if you're going to be in the house and you can leave it to work away. So chicken and all of our veg there. We're going to create a chicken broth stock and cook the chicken at the same time. So this gives you a lovely moist shredded chicken. Once the chicken's actually cooked, I just remove it and then we're going to intensify that broth. I've made videos like this before. I will just link those down below. But to create our chicken stew, I'm just browning off some diced carrots and celery, and all I've done is season them. We're also going to add in all our chopped potatoes, and I'm peeling, chopping, trying to prep and tidy as I go. So it's 15 minutes work, and then you're going to have a lovely dish after a couple of hours. So I've added into the now intense chicken broth my potatoes, all of my veg, give them a good mix through, added in a few bay leaves, and then we've left it for hours. Once those potatoes give way and have broken down, you're going to really fill out the dish. But I like some chunkiness, so I'm going to add in some butter beans and more cubed potatoes, and that is literally just half an hour before serving, so we keep the bite and the texture in the dish. So butter beans in, potatoes, and 10 minutes before I just add the shredded chicken in. It's already cooked, you don't want to dry it out, so we're just mixing it through, and there's already tons of flavour in the dish and in the chicken itself. So that is us all plated up. It's one that we're actually going to split the dinner, so we're having a bowl each now, then off to swimming classes, and then one when they pop home as well. This is a great one if you want to make a chicken potato pot pie as well, and we're just having it with simple batch loaf buttered. The next evening we're going to have a sweet and sour chicken meal. So I'm using 3 chicken fillets, an onion, 3 peppers, pineapple chunks, and usually what other veg is left over or on offer, it's baby corn tonight. White wine vinegar, corn flour, brown sugar, chili flakes, garlic and some ginger. And then for the sauce, tomato ketchup, soy sauce, and again some brown sugar. This is heavily based on the Harry Biker sweet and sour chicken recipe. I will link that down below. Now I very much tend to just cook by eye. The only thing I probably change is less of the white wine vinegar, so it's slightly sweeter and more palatable for the baby. Baby Pearl loves it. You could use reduced ketchup as well to keep down on the sugar. That's mine. I'm having quite a big portion, and we're just having it with plain rice. A really good filling one, particularly if you're going to get lots of vegetables into it. You could actually leave the chicken out. If they eat it all up, they love to have these fortune cookies, and I don't know, a novelty like this just tends to make them to eat all their dinner. Next evening, this is my get out of cooking card, to be honest. I just wasn't in the zone, so I put some baked potatoes in the oven, brushed in olive oil, and then we've just got some sides, baked beans and a platter with some grated cheese. We've got sliced up cucumbers and peppers, some quinoa. I made up some pesto pasta that we also have for packed lunch, cherry tomatoes, eggs, and to make it more of a dinner and a little bit more filling, some cocktail sausages, crunchy onions, a little bit of rocket salad there, again with the pomegranates and parmesan cheese, and beetroot. And because I call it a baked potato station, the kids seem to really enjoy just helping themselves and topping their potatoes up. They always go for the cheese and the beans, but we try and coax them into some more of the salad as well. And yeah, that is our last meal for the meals of the week. I hope you really enjoyed it. Do give it a thumbs up, and of course if you're new around here, make sure to hit subscribe.